We back with the Monday morning quarterback to tell you all the facts and prediction that we got wrong and that everything we ever predicted was a lie. And we're going to Monday morning quarterback and pretend like we was always right. Because that's what Monday morning quarterbacks do. And of course, I'm here joined with the one, the only Uniqo Williams. He might have to go shortly throughout the episode, but I'm joined with him. We're going to get his quick thoughts on certain things. I probably talk baseball and stuff because I don't know if you care about that, but how you doing there, my guy?
Man, I can't complain, man. We had a good week of being on psychedelics all weekend, so we feel great today. We see the world for what it is, and we can also see our teams for what they are.
Yeah, speaking of teams, we had the Colts and Titans. I want to talk about this because this is the only game that had two teams with winning records going into it. According we know that Matt Ryan again struggled, two interceptions. He had a good percentage, but most of them was for only short yardage. He had 44 attempts, 33 completions, meaning he had a great completion percentage. But he only threw for 243 yards, which is not good. Jonathan Taylor came back on limited carries, 10 carries for 58 yards. He did give 5.8 yards a carry. That's really good. Paris Campbell is a bright spot for the Colts. He had 10 receptions, 70 yards, one touchdown. Thought he could have made one guy miss, but quite couldn't get it done. On the Titans end, Derrick Henry, 128 yards, 30 carries, ran the ball very well. Ryan Tannehill barely did anything, which is what you want to see if you're a Titans fan. He only had 13 for 20, 132 yards, didn't have to do much. Austin Hooper made some big plays on some third downs. And the defense, Adams and Long, the linebackers, the safeties, caught picks, man. That's all you can ask for that's all you can ask for a team. Joe, your thoughts on your teams losing, but still being 3-3-1, which is decent in the AFC. Still playoff contention, but
Some are calling for firing Frank Wright. I don't know if that's really necessarily the answer. The answer is that offensive line is not blocking for Matt Ryan. And they just teeing off on him because they know he's not going anywhere. He's going to sit in that pocket. He might do a little shoulder roll down real quick on somebody. Other than that, Matt Ryan is what it is. He's a pocket passer. If he doesn't have a pocket, it doesn't work. And then if your receivers aren't good enough to get separation, then that's what's going to happen. I think the Colts defense is good enough, but it is what it is, man. At this point, I have no expectations for the Colts. I had good ones. I thought that Matt Ryan might still have it in him. I thought that the offensive line was straight. I thought the defensive line defense was top five, and it's not working out. It's not working out.
it is not. But they,
Y'all
like I
winning
said,
some games, but
they still in the
whatever.
playoff contention. That's when, like I said, this was the only game where you had winning record versus winning record. So, and you still don't have a losing record. That's what you don't want. Speaking of teams that now have losing records, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. Let me put it on the screen so y'all can see what I'm looking at. We have the Green Bay Packers. You see, this is a very interesting stat line. You have Aaron Rodgers here for 23 for 35, 194 yards, two touchdowns. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon had a combined 12 carries, which I don't think you can win like that if you're a Green Bay Packers fan. I don't think you can win with just that. The receivers continue to struggle. Alan Lazard played decent, but he dropped. He did have some big drops. Aaron Jones seemed like their best receiver. You see 9 receptions for Aaron Jones. The defense is not as good as we thought they were going to be last year, but they're okay. You see Campbell out there with he had a great game for their defense, but other than that, they pretty much struggled. Yet the Devontae Adams effect. You see Taylor Heineke, he had 201 yards more than Aaron Rodgers, 20 for 33, two touchdowns, one interception, as we just talked about.
That third quarter tells the story. You didn't do nothing for 15 minutes, and you let the Heineke boy come up there and put up 10 points on you in one quarter. You didn't do nothing. You didn't answer nothing. But that's what I noticed about the Green Bay Packers. They always find themselves in like a quick little lull. Like they find themselves where they just don't care about the game for about 12 to 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's what I find myself. You know, that's what I'm finding. is that like they just don't care about offense for like a quarter or so.
Yeah. Taylor Heineke made some big plays on that fourth down to end the game. He had some big plays. Like I said, Brian Robinson Jr. played well, and Antonio Gibson, he's getting back. He's getting back into shape. He had 5.9. Terry McLaurin had a beautiful play he made in that
Yeah,
game.
absolutely. Absolutely. We wishing a good quarterback, a great quarterback, an elite quarterback to be paired with my boy out of Ohio State, please.
Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what it is. It seemed like when you got young receivers and you don't practice in the off season, we're gonna talk about the next game. We're gonna talk about is the same problem, except for it ain't quite young. He just don't practice in the season either. But these older quarterbacks seem like I ain't practicing, and now it's looking like it's affecting them. Like, oh, I'm great, I can make up for it. I'm so good. But now the young receiver don't know what they know, and they don't know what you want yet. But you skipped the whole off season, and because you out here want to do your Percocets and do interviews and golf and tournaments, which ain't
Allegedly.
it ain't allegedly. We saw him golf in the tournament. You wasn't there in practice. What you know? Allegedly, we saw you. Deny it all you want. That's what happens. But I'm noticing a theme: the teams that played the whole offseason, I mean the preseason stuff. By the way, NFC East played the Seahawks played the whole offseason. They seem to be doing a lot better than the teams that most of the starters didn't play. Have you noticed that? I'm just saying, offseason might be more important than what y'all think it is. I'm just saying. And I'm going to prove that by showing y'all another game. Of course, we're talking about Tampa Bay versus Carolina. And oh my God, this is a upset of the year. A team that literally traded like all of their best players last week with a PJ Washington playing quarterback. Absolutely stumped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 21-3. Tom Brady 32 for 49, 290 yards. Tom Brady threw 50 times. They didn't run the ball very much at all. They, as you can see, Leonard Fournette got 2.4 yards a carry. Mike Evans had 96 yards, but he had a touchdown that he dropped
Huge
in,
drop.
in
Huge
the
drop.
in the beginning of the game. And after he dropped it, they had like almost no more opportunities because they didn't look that good. You see PJ Phillip Walker, 16 for 22, didn't have to throw the ball a lot. 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. Foreman, who was the big back, the big power back, had some big runs. He had a big 28-yard run. He had a big 60-yard run. 118 yards. Chuba Howard had that big touchdown run, 63 yards. They ran a game like we don't even miss McCaffrey because we got them. DJ Moore, who's on the trading block, had 69 yards and a touchdown. As you can see, Farmer can catch the ball in the backfield. They running back. They had their defenses playing. They played well. I don't know what to tell you. The Bucks just don't look good. That's all you can say. Like they just lost to the Steelers, who had one win. They gave the Steelers their second win, and they still only got 2 wins. They gave the Panthers their second win, and they only got 2 wins. I don't even think they take up that. I think your quarterback goes to go party with Robert Kraft on Friday during the week, and then he yells at the offensive lineman. I don't think they quitting on Ty Bowles. They might be quitting on that goat. I mean, Joe, if you don't practice throughout the week, you miss Tuesday because you had to go somewhere. You miss 12 days during the offseason because of some event that you had because apparently you left your wife for this.
I hate Wednesdays, by the way. I've always hated Wednesdays during the football week. I really do. And that's the one he took off.
And then on Saturday, you decided to miss walkthrough because you were at your former boss's.
Well, you gotta go to that, man.
And then you go on Sunday and then you yell at the offensive line after you ain't been here all week. Listen, I'm just saying, you don't yell at me if you don't come to work. Like you can't. I don't care how important you been. I will openly say because you are Tom Brady and you are the GOAT. And apparently, if you say anything bad about Tom Brady, ESPN will come down on you with the hammer and dish you and call you the worst teammate ever. And that they cannot win with you on the team and you will obviously be traded. So everybody's like, Joe, the offensive lineman was literally saying, oh, I love when Tom Brady yells at me. He's like a father figure. I'm like, oh my God, y'all do not believe this. Y'all are grown men, and I know y'all. But again, I have to say this to keep my job. And they look so miserable, Joe. They look absolutely miserable on this team right now.
I I hate to do this because I know I only got about 9 minutes left. Make that 8. Um, let me go ahead, knock out football. Let's get on the Pacers and let's get on the Lakers.
Okay, let's go. What you
And
got?
then if y'all don't mind, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to hijack this. I'm sorry. I'm just trying. I gotta speak my piece.
I got all the
Actually,
games I wanted you to talk about. You know what I mean?
what prompted us to get into this, my boy Gerald, he got into it and he said there's some things that need to be addressed. The 76ers and the Lakers need to be addressed. So let me be the host for a second and switch over and let me interview you because you're the 76er fan. Thank you. Okay. This is Friday Night Lights / quarterback, Monday morning quarterback, with your boy Uniqo Williams. Baller Friday. Sorry we missed y'all. 76ers, what's going on?
Doc a fraud. Y'all keep pretending like he ain't. Listen, I've been since he been on Orlando Magic and he had Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady and all them. I'm like, this man a fraud, and y'all keep trying to pretend like he not. ESPN was this man can. I'm telling you, Jeff Fisher and Doc Rivers. I will never understand how they are not considered frauds, and how. And I don't know. Jeff Fisher has never had a season without Steve McNair, and Steve McNair can carry anybody. He carried Alcorn to almost a Heisman Trophy. Joel had a good game in Game 3, but other than that, he hasn't. The second half of Game 2, he scored 0 points. He was like 0 for 11, and I don't know what it is. I think Harden's cooking, and it's taken away from Joel when Harden's cooking because again, Harden is a ball dominant player, and I think Doc don't know how to coach. So
We
I don't.
we can't forget that James Harden is a walking triple double, right? And sometimes we can forget the rebounds, but he does look to pass. Okay. And
Rondo passes.
Huh?
Rondo passes.
But I mean,
if you know what I mean by that, he'll wait to the end of the shot clock, pass you the ball. You got to shoot it, get an assist.
That's fine.
That's different.
As long as he created that pass for you to get that good shot off. That's all I'm saying.
But that hurt Joel Embiid. He got to cook.
Well, he don't know what to do with the basketball if he got a whole bunch of time on the clock on the shot clock too. He doesn't.
But that's why it don't mesh well. That's why if he cooking, Joel don't cook. Last game he didn't cook, Joel cooked, and we lost both of them. We lost all 3 games. When Joel cooked 33 points, Harden didn't cook. When Harden cooked, Joel didn't cook. That's because they ball dominant players who, again, them late last minute assists don't work for everybody unless you got a bunch of shooters around you. That was LeBron finding that too, by the way. Ball dominant assist.
He's not finding that out. Like the majority of his I apologize. Gotti, come here, man. Come here. You ain't barking at nothing, bro. Relax. See, that's Gotti, relax. Just hit the screen. That's what Doc would say. What I'm saying to you is this: is that what I want to say. LeBron's gone through this, and I think this can segue into the Lakers as well. Is that we all know when LeBron is at his best. When you have Mike Miller around you, you have Ray Allen, you have all these great people that can shoot around LeBron. That's what he does. He does what he does, and he's being a threat. So that means that's opening up for everybody else to score. I don't understand why no GM doesn't go out there and be like, I need somebody that shoots 40% 3-point shooting. I need that for LeBron James. Instead, you keep on taking a chance with the Austin Rivers of the world, and not Austin Rivers, Austin Reeves, and just hope that they hit some threes on some nights. You're not about to get that with Patrick Bev. It's just all bad. But just going back to Philadelphia, and it's a problem there. James Harden is going to do what he does, and he's going to draw the competition out to do what they do. But at the same time, I don't want to give him the ball early in the shot clock because he don't know what to do either.
He don't know.
He's going to stand at the shoulder. He's gonna stand at the shoulder until he decides to bully you.
I'm like, bro, dribble the ball, get the play started, dribble between the legs, the same move over and over again. I'm like, bro, get Joel the ball. I'd rather see him sit there do this and not move and nobody move and just sit there and just like,
See, if Joel had the same mindset as Giannis, he might do a little better behind that.
his knees bad though. He can't run around like this. But
No, the mindset in regards to Giannis will draw the defense in and then make a good pass for the most part. He is looking to pass the ball. Embiid is like in between. Like he's not. I would say Giannis is the better basketball player.
he dribble more. It's easier to do that when you dribble more though. Giannis is more of a ball dominant player. Joel is more of a ISO 1-on-1 big man who should be in the
As
paint,
he should
but
be.
three.
As he should be. He should be in the paint or on the lower
But
block.
again, Harden don't like people in the paint, so that's where it don't gel. Harden hate when senders in the paint.
No, if you get Joel Embiid just either right there on the block posted up or just slightly outside of it because he can't shoot, there is that threat. I think that takes care of your spacing issues, but they tend to be having these spacing
He should
issues.
run a triangle, but Doc ain't. Because you have two players that can run the triangle, but he ain't, and Harden them don't want to, so you got a problem. So, and Doc don't know what he doing again. So, like I said,
like if I'm James Harden, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my presence going to the paint, and then that's when we're going to start dropping it off to Joel and let him.
Joel Embiid should be at the free throw line. You give him the ball in like a triangle formation. You get the paint, get the ball. Everybody move around him. James Harden get the ball, make a play, and that's it. But they ain't gonna do that again because Doc don't know what he's doing. So he's a fraud for a decade. I've been telling you.
Man, he would put his rings in your face if you was to ever
the one ring that Kevin Garnett just said that Paul Pierce and Rondo said we ain't doing nothing. He said. I showed y'all the interview, Joe. Is that not what Kevin Garnett said? No, Doc ain't doing it. Is that not what the KG said? Him and Rondo said they wasn't gonna do what Doc said. Yo, they wanted a championship despite Doc.
And that's why KG will always be a pretty okay power forward.
Kevin Garnett, I'm gonna pull it up after Joe leave, but I'm gonna let Joe get on his Laker talk.
Yeah, and go ahead and switch back to being a host.
But we're about to get into it. Joe, you got the hat on. The Lakers are 0-3.
Thanks for having me, Zelmay.
The Lakers are 0-3. LeBron had a chance to tie the game, came up short. They get the most open threes because, of course, you got a lot of point guards on the team. But they miss a lot of them because they're not shooters, which makes a lot of sense because once you have a lot of point guards, of course, you're going to get a bunch of open shots. But at the same time, the point guards ain't shooters. And neither is LeBron. So they miss a lot for these open threes. So how you feel about your team?
So yesterday was supposed to be the day where they win the game. And I was going to be like, okay, cool. I did not watch any of that game yesterday because I knew what that game meant for me. They have to win it. They have to win this game. And they were up. And I thought they would win this game. They would go on to not win this game. And then there was two opportunities. Yes, we can 100% put Russ. Are you right? I'm with you on that, Mr. Hicks. I 100% wholeheartedly believe that Russ is not all in with this team. He had a good opening night, so we was cool with that. But there's stuff that he does that ruins the day and ruins the mood for everybody. One of those things being going out of bounds for no doggone reason. Yes, he played defense in game 2, but he was still like he was 0 for 11. That's not, come on, man. You're playing basketball. You're not nobody grows up saying I'm a defensive specialist and just want to be that their whole life. Nobody does that. So that being said, no, you want to score and be a great defender if you're one of the best basketball players ever. 0 for 11 isn't going to work. 4 for 15 isn't going to work either. I'm sorry. It's just not. So with that being said, what's wrong with the Lakers? No shooting at all. They're all piss poor.
Too many point guards.
LeBron James is doing the best LeBron James impression he can do, but that is what it is. Um, it's just not this team. They're gonna have to make some moves. If they're not over 500 by the time that the All-Star break comes up, they need to think about what they're gonna do with life. Like, are like, because at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be LeBron's decision. Like, do y'all make it great for me for now and y'all suck after I leave, or I say you get all the bread that you can right now while you got the world's best player. But that's just me.
Only one team in history with at least 100 3-point attempts and posted 21% shooting from the three. They have shot 103 games, 100 3-point attempts, and shoot 20%. That is, you ain't winning. I'm just sorry. You're not winning.
That's true.
So, Joe, what can
That's
they
true.
find you before you get off? Unless you want to say something about the Pacers.
UnicoWilliams.com. All those roads lead to me. I'll be back today at some point. We are in Gotham City trying to save Gotham City in a world without Bruce Wayne. So we'll see about all that.
Go hit them up on this stream, UnicoWilliams.com.
Monday Night Football. Who is it tonight?
It's the Patriots and Bears.
Oh my God. Well, we'll definitely be playing Gotham Knights during that time, so definitely hit me up. But we'll have the score of the game and all that stuff. We'll have any highlights. We'll have those up for you. No problem.
AD do not look like his old self. So if Joe get out of here, I want to thank him for showing. But he might be in the comments still. I don't know what he got going on.
Yeah, I'll be in the comments.
Yeah. You see Gerald, he is here too. He usually on the show, but he's working. And he also tells me that the Patriots and Bears, he is asleep. But AD does not look like his old self. AD looks like a shell of himself. And I don't know. The injuries, bro, I think he's scared to get hurt. And that's always going to be a problem. So I don't know. Those are our basketball topics early in the season. 76ers and Lakers are so far disappointing. Golden State doing what Golden State do. Michael Porter Jr. against Golden State looked amazing the other day. But when he don't play, Denver don't look good. When he plays, they look well. I don't know how him and Jamal Murray gonna mesh because they're gonna have the same problems, I think, Embiid and Harden have because they both need the ball. But we'll see if they can make it work. Let's see if their coach can make it work because I don't have no faith in Doc. I wish I could find a thing. But we're about to get back into some football. And of course, I want to get to this game. We're going to talk about the Thursday night game from last week that we didn't get quite a chance to talk about. Let's go over here. Oh, that's not what I want. I just want to do it. But we're going to talk about the Thursday game. Cardinals versus Saints. Andy Dalton sold that game. Let's just be clear. Andy Dalton sold the game. Boston on the road without Udoka. That's true. But again, once you've been in basketball is way different from football because once you've been coached well and you still got the same team, you usually gonna still play well. Like I've never seen a team that just like lost the coach. Even when Phil Jackson left during that time with the Bulls and they had that same core, they played well. You see it with LeBron team. Once the team is coached well and they coach leave for some reason, you saw it with the Golden State Warriors when Steve Kerr left. They didn't really miss that much of a beat. Sometimes some people say their defense got better when Steve Kerr wasn't there. Offense got a little worse, but defense got better. So once you have the same core people, which Boston does, and like Golden State had, when the coaches leave, Mike Brown coached them to win. And y'all, like honestly, like, do we think Mike Brown's a great coach? Like I'm just being honest. And there's no, I'm kind of taking a shot at him, but do we really believe Mike Brown is that dude? I'm just saying, but. So you got that going on. We also gonna put let me put this up on the screen. Y'all see right above me, we have the New Orleans Saints and Arizona Cardinals. As I said, Andy Dalton cost them the game. Taysom Hill was 2 for 2, 48 yards. He do good when he in Kamara, but Andy Dalton, those 3 picks right there. Y'all see them? Those right there. Those 2 picks. The game was basically essentially tied, and this man threw 2 pick sixes back to back. By the way, I don't want to show it because I get copyrighted, but that thing when he showed the pick and that slow mo when the dude jumped in his zone was one of the coolest things I've seen. Y'all can see right here, Kyler Murray 20 for 29, 204 yards, 1 touchdown. Endo Benjamin played very well in that game. Kyler Murray didn't run a lot, but he was effective when he did run. Got a lot of first downs. Kyler Murray did his job. You know what I mean? He did very well. I don't want to spend too much time on that game, but this is a game I want to focus on. We got the Browns and Ravens. Jacoby Brissett, 258 yards. Nick Chubb, 91 yards. Kareem Hunt didn't get a lot of carries. Again, the problem I had in this game is that the Browns did not stick with the run. They did not stick with the run. And Lamar Jackson didn't throw the ball out, 9 for 16, 120 yards, 59 yards rushing. Gus Edwards, 66 yards. A lot of running from them. Just as 26 yards. The running game and the defense bailed out Baltimore in this game. Didn't have to do much. Lamar Jackson stats, y'all be like they're low. But at the same time, you have to realize. I know I talk fast. I'm trying to do that. But you have to realize that they were getting pick sixes. This man was throwing like they would get. I mean, not pick sixes. It was mostly a running game. People don't realize because you're not used to it. But when you run the ball this much, as you see the Browns and Nick Chubb with 91 yards, you see how much they run the ball. That there ain't gonna be a lot of time for passing. Nick Chubb is the truth. That is correct. Nick Chubb is that guy. You know what I mean? So shout out to Nick Chubb. He had a really good game. But unfortunately, Jacoby Brissett couldn't make a few plays at the end. We have the Falcons and Bengals, another game I want to talk about real quick. Marcus Mariota, this is what we care about. Look at this. Joe Burrow had 481 yards, 3 touchdowns. Atlanta has one of the worst pass rushes I think I've seen. They also don't cover well, so that's why their record is what it is. If they play a team that don't throw well, they can actually beat them. But the problem is they have a team like this. My guy had like 100. Tyler Boyd had 100 yards in the first half, and Jamar Chase took over the second half. Look at these stats for these two receivers. Look at their top 3 receivers. 8 catches, 155 yards, 1 touchdown for Tyler Boyd. Had 100 in the first half. 8 receptions, 130 yards for Jamar Chase, 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins, 93 yards on 5 catches. Look at this. If your top 3 receivers have 19, 16, and 18, you are going to lose that game. Per reception, they get over a first down. They get a first down and a half over reception. Y'all see that? They get over a first down and a half per reception. And you got 3 of them. You have no chance to win that game. Atlanta had no chance to win that game. They had absolutely no shot. The game everybody want to talk about. Let's talk about this game too. Let's talk about this game. Let's talk about the Cowboys Lions. We don't have to look at stats. Jared Goff, 2 picks, of course. Jamal Williams, a big fumble at the goal line, the 1-yard line. Micah Parsons is my defensive player of the year. He ran down that tight end at the 1-yard line, which led to the fumble of Jamal Adams when they would be down 13. They would have been up 13-10 if they would have scored on that play. Micah Parsons made the play of the game. Dak, 19 for 25, didn't really miss many throws, 27 yards. He did risk 2 or 3 throws in this game. But other than that, he didn't really risk a lot. I think he learned from Cooper Rush that this defense is good enough that I don't have to force throws like I did in the season. Because the defense 2 years ago was absolutely atrocious. And this year, they are like the best defense in the league against everything but the run. But they do well enough to stop the run. You see Tony Pollard got 12 carries, 83 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 15 carries for 57. Again, if you look at it, Ezekiel Elliott is the back that like get it done at the end of the day. Tony Pollard's the one to get the yards. You see CeeDee Lamb did pretty good, but this is Dak's first game back after the thumb injury. This is his first game back. They played the Lions team that's not really that good. I remember I saw that guy on Sirius Radio told me the Lions gonna be a playoff team. I laughed at him. We have the Giants and the Jaguars. We're not gonna go over too much on this game. I'm not gonna show the screen. I don't care. Daniel Jones had a really good game, 19 for 30, 202 yard, 1 touchdown. But he also had 107 yards rushing. That's why I said he had a good game, 1 touchdown. With 2 touchdowns, total of 308 yards. Saquon Barkley leading. I think he's still the leading rusher in the league. I got to check after yesterday. I don't know if somebody passed him, but he had 110 yards, 4.6 yards a carry. Trevor Lawrence, 22 for 43, 310 yards. Again, he couldn't get the ball in the end zone, though. That's the biggest problem they have. His former teammate from Clemson, Travis Etienne Jr., 114 yards, 8.1 yards ratio, a touchdown. The reason the Jags won is they couldn't get the ball in the end zone. You hear all the yards I just showed y'all. They couldn't get the ball in the end zone. That's the simple problem they had. They couldn't get the ball in the end zone. Daniel Jones did. The Giants are doing a good job of covering up Daniel Jones' flaws, and it shows. You know what I mean? It shows very well that he's really covering up his flaws. Another game I don't think y'all care much about, so I'm not gonna show it on the screen. But Texans and Las Vegas Raiders, 38-20. David Mills, 302 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Pretty good game for him. Damian Pierce, 92 yards. Might need to pick him up in fantasy because I know a lot of fantasy people don't have Damian Pierce, but he is playing well. Also, that it's another rookie I'm gonna talk about later that is playing really well that people need to pick up. Josh Jacobs, 143 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a big day for Josh Jacobs. Big running game day. They dominated the run. 21 for 27, 41 yards, 1 touchdown for Derek Carr. What can I say? Texas had more yards, but again, turnovers. Not getting able to get the ball in the zone. You lose games when you can't turn the ball over. You lose games when you turn the ball over. Interesting game. I'm gonna even show this one. They get my respect for showing this. I'm gonna show this game. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about the Jets and the Broncos. Zach Wilson, 16 for 26, 121 yards. Breece Hall, 72-yard big run. Breece Hall has been my fantasy carrier so far, and he got injured to a knee injury, and I'm hoping he's okay. Not just because of my fantasy. I can find another fantasy runner. Like I said, I'm looking at a running back right now in fantasy that I'm looking at some young, so it ain't even about that. The kid just good. He's the reason the Jets 5-2 really. You can see right there, only 4 carries for 72 yards. Look at what the other running backs are doing. Michael Carter, 13 for 2.2 yards a carry. That's a big drop off. That man had 72 yards. He got hurt in like the first half. He the reason they won this game. But yep, he didn't play today though. We had Brett Ripien. Russell Wilson is falling off. He went to a new team. He doesn't interact with his teammates well. I don't know y'all thoughts on this. He doesn't interact with his teammates very well, according to a lot of people. They said Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch said on their podcast that Russell Wilson, he's not talking to his manager because that's the only way that you can contact Russell Wilson through his manager. So it looks like he's never been close to his teammates, which probably not a good thing, especially if you struggle. But if you got the lead and the boom behind you, you might can get away with it. Melvin Gordon, they had a committee of running backs, as y'all can see. They did decent. The running game was decent. Brett Ripien was almost basically 50% passing a pick. You couldn't get it done. Jerry Jeudy did what Jerry Jeudy do, one of the best route runners in the league. We got to give him credit for that. It's Breece Hall, man. Breece Hall got him the lead, and they kept it. You know what I mean? Speaking of Russell Wilson, I show this too. We have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Chargers, 2 of the most interesting teams in the league. Why? Because Los Angeles Chargers is supposed to be my team that surprises y'all. They're supposed to be my team that surprises y'all, right? And the Seahawks are supposed to be last place. But Geno Smith said no. You can see it right here. 20 for 27, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Kenneth Walker is the young player I was talking about, the rookie, who I said you should be looking at. That's who I was talking about. Kenneth Walker III, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's been doing that a lot this year, by the way. This rookie is really good. Marquise Goodwin, you can see 4 receptions, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett is more struggling than he did with it. But Marquise Goodwin is being a star. Tyler Lockett played better under Russell Wilson, but Geno Smith have his favorites too. That's how it goes sometimes. Justin Herbert, 33 for 51, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Solid game. The running game didn't do much. Austin Eckler and Mike Williams did their things, but again, your defense got to play better. J.C. Jackson, I know a lot of injuries happened in this game. DK Metcalf got hurt. I know J.C. Jackson got hurt. It's somebody else got hurt. I can't. Y'all let me know in the comments who else got hurt in this game. But I know it was three major injuries. It was Mike Williams, wasn't it? Mike Williams caught that ball on the first down, twisted his ankle, let go of the ball, and it looked bad. But Seahawks, number one in the NFC West again. We got to talk about it. It's right here. It's presented to us. And I got a question for y'all there in the middle of the show that I want y'all to answer me real quick. Right? Then we about halfway done. We're gonna go over a little college football. We're gonna go over the Astros, of course. We're gonna go over the Phillies. Shout out to the Phillies. I'm so happy Bryce Harper on there, but we're gonna talk about them in a minute. But are y'all excited how unpredictable this season been? We have talked about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady struggling. We have talked about Geno Smith being number one. We've talked about Justin Herbert struggling. Kansas City, they told me that, without Tyreek Hill, they ain't going to be as good. Patrick Mahomes is leading the league in passing. Like, how y'all feeling? We got 2 more games. Of course, we going to get into Patrick Mahomes, but are y'all excited that we're getting the most unpredictable NFL season ever? We have the Miami Dolphins and Steelers. I'm not going to really show nothing, but just know Kenny Pickett threw 3 picks, and that's probably the reason they lost the game, but one of them was the last second pick that he probably shouldn't have thrown. But Najee Harris, 65 yards, 3.8 yards of carry. Tua was running the ball. He ducked his head. Probably don't want to see that much, but he wanted to show his team that he's there, so I get it. Jalen Waddle, 88 yards. Tyreek Hill, 72 yards. They did what they had to do. Coming off injury again, I didn't expect much, but they did what they had to do. And, of course, the game I was talking about earlier, again, you can answer my question of the day, essentially. One of my questions of the day. Are we excited about that? And my question of the day, which is, did you expect the NFC East to be the best conference? Let me know what y'all think about those 2 things as we get into this segment. Kansas City Chiefs versus San Francisco 49ers. Patrick Mahomes, 25 for 34, 423 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Isaiah Pacheco, 43 yards rushing. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 32 yards rushing. McCole Hardman, 28 yards rushing. Jensen McKinnon. McKinnon is literally a good player. He has been replaced by Isaiah Pacheco. But look at all the carry rush. Y'all see those numbers say they're not high, but look at the yards per carry. You have to respect the running game for the Chiefs. That's how Patrick Mahomes can get 423 yards. That's how he can get it. It went from NFC East to NFC West in 1 year. It did. It's crazy. The Eagles had a week off bye week this week, but they are the number 1 team. They're the only undefeated team in the league. You got the Cowboys. You got the Giants who have only 1 loss. We're going to talk about that after that. But we had Jimmy G, 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jeffrey Wilson made some good. George Kittle made an amazing catch at the end zone with a safety right on him. The Chiefs, the one thing underrated about the Chiefs is their defense, right? Their defense is very underrated. The Cowboys is 5-2. So you got a 6-0 team, a 6-1 team, and a 5-2 team in the NFC East. Some people question who they playing, but it is who they is. But like I said, you got the Chiefs and 49. Patrick Mahomes have one of the best. Juju Smith-Schuster making plays. Everybody making plays. It's more well-rounded. You don't really see one player just be like, oh, that's the guy. Except for Travis Kelce, of course. But it's by committee now. It's not just one dude. One problem I do have with Patrick Mahomes this season, that's the only reason they lost to Buffalo, is that sometimes I question what he see because I think he anticipates too much. I think Patrick Mahomes anticipates way too much sometimes. And he just like calculates and he just throws the ball. Because yesterday, the pick he threw against the 49ers that gave them the 10-0 lead was just strange. Because the guy who he threw it to was the San Francisco 49ers teammate. He boggled the ball and went straight to the other guy's hand. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm interested in that. I'm very interested in it. But let's talk about this. Let's go over this real quick. Let's talk about some baseball real quick. Houston Astros. I asked in the title, is this the best run ever? Let's bring it up so y'all can see the question as we talk about this. They have swept through the entire playoff. They haven't had a loss in this playoffs. Now, I'm saying best run AL ever. I'm not gonna say overall because they still have the NL. If they can sweep the NL, it's obviously the best run ever because nobody's ever done. I don't think nobody's ever swept through the whole playoffs before. I don't think no one has ever done that. But Astros beat the Yankees 6-5. The crazy thing about this is, um, their best player, the Astros' best player, Jose Alvarado, played terrible this whole series. He played terrible this whole series. I don't know if he's their best player now, but he's one of their best players. He played terrible the whole series. And they just won every game. They literally beat the Astros. They beat the Yankees every game. I always respect what my uncle say. My uncle, this shout out to him. But one thing I do always respect to him is his opinions in baseball. Again, I grew up watching baseball. I'm not the greatest fan. It's probably my least favorite of the big three sports in America. But I always respected it because I learned how to do the pitches and all the like hand motions to throw the ball and the pitches. Because my cousin was a all SWAC pitcher, SWAC player of the year pitcher at Jackson State. Shout out to Jackson State. Rest in peace, Sugar Man, Otis Seabury Jr. But he taught me a lot about baseball too. But my uncle always knew it. He said the Yankees gonna win this series, but they might not win them but one game against the Astros. And he told me because the Astros don't fear the Yankees, they don't fear that jersey, which we're gonna talk about a little bit in college football in a minute. But he said they don't fear the jersey. And if you didn't fear the jersey, they dominated like they didn't fear him. We gonna talk, like I said, people talked about jersey earlier, but they didn't fear the jerseys. Let's go talk about the Phillies real quick. Let's show the Phillies. Y'all can answer that question by the way. Did the Astros have the best AL run ever? Let me know. I know it's two other teams that went undefeated through the AL. So, well, one was NL, one AL, I think. Y'all can let me know in the comments history. Y'all history sports nerds, let me know. But the Phillies lost one game to the San Diego Padres. They won 4-3 in a more competitive series. But it's hard for me to say, is there a clutch player in baseball hitting wise? But I do want to say Bryce Harper probably one of the most clutch hitting wise players I have ever seen. He don't have a lot of chances to either, by the way. He doesn't have a lot of chances to hit, to actually get hits like that in the clutch. But when he does, he seems to always do it. Bryce Harper seems to always do it. It's absolutely amazing watching that man play baseball. But you got to give credit to pitchers. Pitchers are the most clutch players in baseball because they can make certain plays that nobody else can because they always in the field. But Bryce Harper, I got to give him credit. And let me know who y'all got in the World Series. Y'all got the Philadelphia Phillies, a team I always root for, or the Houston Astros. And it's an interesting place for me because I'm trying to get to Houston sooner or later, even though I don't know if I'm going to now. I might change my mind soon. But that was always the goal for overall 99 to move to that location. But I don't know where. So I do want to root for the Astros, but I'm always a Philadelphia fan because I just adore the fan base. Even though they kind of rude and ruthless and they chaotic. But if you know me, you know I love chaos. You know I love chaos. So I'm always rooting for them, booing Santa Claus and all of that. Now we're about to get in some college football. We're gonna show some of these scores. I'm probably not gonna look at all these games, but we're gonna show some college football scores of the week. Friday night, I'll give my prediction on some of these games. I will probably give my prediction on Thursday night football to end the show. But we see Tennessee blowout of Tennessee Martin. Tennessee's on the road. To me, it looks like the second best team in the country. We don't know. Syracuse and Clemson, 27-21. Clemson should have lost this game. Syracuse choked it at the end in the fourth quarter. I can show a little bit of that, but look at that, 17-0. They was up 21-10. Going into the fourth, 21-10. 17 straight points in the fourth quarter. Syracuse choked that game. Clemson does not look like that amazing of a team, but listen, the other team ain't ready. Like I said, most of football games you'll lose. if you're not prepared. If most teams lose game when they close, but Clemson more talented, so they should have won anyway. We have Ohio State, Iowa, 54-10. I want to see what C.J. Stroud did. 286 y'all, 4 touchdowns, one interception. Looked like he did good. I did not get to watch the game. That's why I want to look at that stat line. Cincinnati SMU, really close game, came down to the end. Oklahoma, big throw at the end of the game. Texas kind of choked this too. A lot of choking happened this week, by the way. They kind of choked this game. They was up again, 14 points, fourth quarter. You was up 7. You allowed 14 points. That's on you again. You had a chance to make some plays on offense too. Ole Miss, LSU, same thing. Ole Miss was up They was up 20-3 at one point. Gave up 14 straight points, and they just got all the momentum after that and dominated. I think Jackson. I think one of these. I think Did Dart get hurt? I'm not sure. No, he didn't. But they had their chance. Jaden Daniels, this quarterback for LSU. Look for him in the future. Look at this game: 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, 121 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. This man had 2 passing to the only person to do that since our boy up there in Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. And except for he did it back to back because he did it last week too. I didn't get a chance to talk about it again because we didn't do Friday Night Light. We didn't do Monday Morning Quarterback, but we'll talk about it more. Oregon, UCLA. Oregon, I said the reason I put Georgia number 1 team because this Oregon team looked real good against everybody else. They look really good against everybody else. But Georgia, that's why Georgia number 1. That's the only thing I got that game, even though I watched it. Alabama, Mississippi State, Alabama looked like they had something to prove. They won. They don't do back-to-back losses. Nick Saban probably was on them boys heavy. Bryce Young looking like he getting back in the form. Alabama need to get their running game started. I don't know what they're doing with their running game. It's very interesting. Texas A&M, South Carolina. South Carolina, of course, they got the quarterback, Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma. Neither team played that well, to be honest with you. Penn State, Minnesota. This is going to be one of the games next week that we're going to talk about on Friday Night Lights with featuring Uniqo Williams. Penn State versus Minnesota. Penn State quarterback Sean Clifton, 4 touchdowns, one pick, 295 yards. Had even got the backup Drew Allard. Now I don't know how good he is, but he got in. We also see Kansas State, TCU, 38-28. TCU is a interesting team. I don't know how good they really are. I really don't. I don't know how good TCU really is. But we'll see sooner or later. Kansas State got beat pretty good. And that is week 8. We got one more thing to talk about. We got Thursday night football. And we're going to give our predictions. And then we're getting out of here. I do appreciate y'all for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. All that interesting things that are going on. We're going to week 8 NFL schedule for Thursday night football. We're just going over the list of Thursday night football. We on week 8. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Ravens. What I'm gonna tell y'all, this is gonna happen. I believe purposely that the Ravens gonna beat the Bucs. I think Lamar. Let me know in the comments who y'all think, who y'all got this week. I think they beating the Bucs. I don't know what to say. Raven. I don't feel like the Bucs stopped the run well, placing a fast quarterback like facing a speedy quarterback. I don't know how they're gonna do well with it. They do got some fast linebackers. He gotta create plays. He gotta create plays. I don't know what the Tom Brady gonna do, but I got the Bucs. Let me think of the score. Ravens all day, same with me. Let's show some of these stats while we got up here. The Ravens is 11th in offense. My thing twitching out right now, so there you go. The Ravens is 11 in offense. Bucs are 19th. The Buccaneers got a better defense and a better passing game, but their rushing game is way below. Ravens beat them in the last meeting a few years ago, Raymond James Stadium. Lamar Jackson. This is kind of changing my mind a little bit, but I just think at the end of the day they ain't got enough. I don't think Buccaneers have enough They don't have that heart right now. Maybe they can show it to me, but they don't have that heart right now. Let me know y'all thoughts on all these situations, all these teams. Who y'all got for Thursday? We see Gerald got Ravens. Let me know who y'all have. I appreciate y'all for staying with me. I'm finna go get something to eat. Go enjoy your rest of your work day. Have a good night, man. Go get some drink. Enjoy you some Monday Night Football, some Monday Night Raw, whatever you want to watch. Maybe you got a TV show you watch. Maybe you catch up on something on Netflix. But remember throughout the week to keep stomping, do your homework, do your work good, and see me next week. Have a good time, and remember, like I said earlier, keep stomping. Something amazing can happen.
This morning's devotion, I was reading about Moses, and God spoke to Moses in the desert. Where we at? You know what I'm saying? Come on.